if you looked exactly the same but you weighed 10 kilos less, you'd probably still not be happy. Yo, what's going on, people? Gabriel Sey, aka The Truth, checking in. Welcome to another Teach Me Tuesday. That's what's up. Basically, I got this message through on Instagram. Someone who was very confused about their progress, how to look at it, and whether they should be progressing more, and their calories, and so on and so forth. I went back and forth with him, voice noted, and just gave him some advice as if he was one of my clients. And I thought, let me share the advice that I gave to him, because I think this is a very, very common question. And a lot of the time when I get a question saying, oh, having this many calories, is that okay? This is a more in-depth question, which yields a better answer. So anyway, but yeah, just before I forget, if this video helps in any way, shape or form, as always, hit the like button, smash the thing, yeah, show your support. So the 12th of January, he was 95.5 kilos. 26th of January, he was 94.5, and he's gonna check again in another 2 weeks. He weighed himself today just to see how he's getting on, and he's still the same weight as on the 26th. And feels like within that time, he should have lost at least half a kilo. He said from the 12th to the 26th, he dropped his calories by about 200 again because he was in a similar scenario. He's now at 2,000 calories. So remember, he's 95.4 kilos and he's on 2,000 calories. I looked at his pictures. He seems like quite well built. There's some excess fat that he obviously wants to get rid of, but he's not like overweight, like ridiculously overweight. So at the moment, he doesn't want to cut his calories any lower. He's training 5 times a week as usual. Doesn't know whether to stick, or do I reckon if the weight loss stops, there's something need to change? So firstly, I was like, bruh, you're 95 kilos. You know, you're not ridiculously overweight, so your lean body mass isn't that small. So realistically, 2,000 calories is quite low. Naisha, she's very athletic, and her calories start, when I'm prepping her for a show, her calories start from about 2,200. Not saying that everyone's that athletic, so everyone should start at that point, but it kind of puts things into perspective. So straight off the bat, I'm like, well, your calories are actually really low. So what could potentially be happening is you're eating too little to even give you the right performance output to give you the results that you want. So I'd probably start by increasing them, maybe put it up by 600. And the thing with this is that what I'm saying isn't gospel. What I'm saying is try it and see what happens, because it might be that you put the calories up and all of a sudden, well, you start seeing things come off because your performance improves, your bench technique improves, your squat technique improves, everything technique-wise improves, plus your intensity increases. So you're putting your muscles under better stress and more accurate stress and more intense stress, that it makes your body think, okay, we need to hold on to this because it's working properly. Let's start shedding the fat. Do you get what I'm saying? That's just kind of breaking it down without going into too much scientific stuff. So then he went on to say, thanks for such a detailed response. The 2,000 calories that he's got there, I don't know his macro split, I'm not gonna go into that, but the 2,000 calories number that he's got is from putting his food into the app. He hasn't taken into account seasoning or oil. And if I start eating more, should I look at adding more cardio as well if I'm not losing weight, as I'm not losing weight now, basically. Seasonings, if you're consistent with the same seasonings and you're not going overboard with them all the time, then I wouldn't count them, because it's a ball ache to count like a couple grams of seasoning or whatever. But just keep it consistent. As long as you keep it consistent and that's a number that doesn't change really, then there's no point in like constantly taking into account. Oils are fats. Fats have quite a high calorie count. So you need to take these into account. And exactly what I said to him is, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're starting. You need to have very accurate numbers, especially for fats, because fats hold 9 calories per gram. Just remember that. It's more than the carbs, it's more than the protein. So you need to know the 3 main ones. And then I said, don't add cardio. Like, okay, so if you're trying to figure something out, you're trying to figure out why you're spending too much money. But then rather than cutting down on 1 or 2 things or one thing at a time to see what's the main thing that's draining your bank account, you stop everything. how do you know what the one thing was? Because it could have just been one thing that's causing the problem. You can't, like, if you change everything, you won't know what that one thing is. So this test and measure process is a long process, and this is why people hate doing it, because you need to change one thing, see what that does. Okay, so if you increase the food, your power output, your intensity is really good, you're starting to shape up a little bit, but the body fat isn't dropping the way that you want it to, then you'll be like, okay, add a little bit of cardio. See what that does. Do you get what I'm saying? A lot of, like, you have to test and measure to see what works with you. And then finally, after sending that voice note, he said, so in terms of checking weight, should he still do this every 2 weeks? And what weight should he expect? Should it be around 1 kilo? Okay, so my response to this was, yeah, I would leave it at least a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but not focus on the weight itself. Especially when I was looking at his pictures, he's probably at a stage where body recomposition will have an effect. So it's more about what you see in the mirror. It's not about what you see on the scale. The scale might tell you a completely different thing to what the mirror is telling you. So take a picture before you make the changes. Make the changes, and after 2 or 3 weeks, take another picture, another set of pictures, front, back, side, see if there's significant change. If there's significant change and your body is changing, then that's the main thing. It's not really about weight. A lot of the time with these transformation journeys, you're not really bothered about how much you weigh unless you're looking to, I don't know, cut down for a fight. If you looked exactly the same, but you weighed 10 kilos less, you'd probably still not be happy. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, he messaged me on Instagram. So yeah, if you follow me on there, send me some DMs and I will look to answer them when I can. And that is it. Well, I thought it would be quite nice to put that out there for anyone else who's struggling. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope it was helpful, hope it was insightful. As always, if it did help in any way, shape or form, hit the like button, smash that thing, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Whipping excursion. I gotta pick up that person. In the trap, whipping that working. You're not a gangster, you're just an internet version.